sort of stuff. Let's introduce these players, guys. Representing Go, down here in the bottom right-hand side in the pink, it is Stephano. He's still got the RC on the end of his name. That's from when EG was sponsored by Raidcore. Wow. Wow, it's a long time ago. Back up here in the top left-hand side of the map, the red Protoss player, it is Puck, who apparently is called Pillow and is in clan Igosu. He says, wait for it, I got something for you. Enjoy. That's some great observing there. Hopefully these players will play a little bit better than my observing. Oh! Oh, I only just noticed he actually did the Colossus Good Luck Have Fun spray. I love that. That's actually the sickest spray. So the Colossus writes Good Luck Have Fun with its Bernie lasers. Interestingly, this pro did come across so early in the game, but you can't actually get there fast enough to block the hatchery, so I wasn't able to achieve anything here for Park. I'm also going to turn the game sounds down just slightly, actually. Let me see, that should be... Oh, that's why everything's been kind of weird while I was laddering today, actually. The game sounds are already very, very quiet. And let's turn that music on. There we go. We can turn the music down a little bit, though. Awesome. Alright, volume levels should be all good. So just going to be a standard Nexus into core, second gas, second pylon in a bit of an interesting position there. It's going to be, no doubt, probably playing Stargate. Very rare to see non-Stargate play in the current meta. We do see periods where Adept openings and a few other ones do come out and become popular. But it almost always seems to gravitate back to that Stargate as the dominant opening. Of course, the power of the Oracle as a scout, a defensive unit, and a harassment unit all in one. Just gives the most options, and that's what pro players are looking for. You know, they want to establish their position on the board. If you want to use chess terms, they want to develop their pieces, and they want to give themselves as many options as possible. And that's basically what the Oracle does. So, good reason why players do love going for it. It's very flexible. Gives a lot of different paths you can go into. Third base is down very quickly, and a super early creep tumor here from Stephano. Third queen already on the way in the main base as well. So interesting opening from Stephano, focusing on creep spread a lot more than most players. I think he's going to be trying to skip spore crawlers and just use the queens to defend. But he will need one more creep tumor in the main, or maybe actually he might just invest in a creep tumor in the main base. Knowing that he can defend the natural in the third with queens. But oh man, this Adept finds its way and the Zerglings are off AFK, and that Adept almost gets a drone. Doesn't quite get the second drone. Does force a bit of lost mining time though. Not a bad job there for just a little bit of APM and a few hit points. Oracle is being chrono boosted and a Robo coming down very quickly behind this. Interestingly, 2 openings in this wall so far. I would love to see another gateway or something go down there to plug that hole. You really only do need one entrance. And yeah, there we go. Looks like he's going to be going for Twilight. Okay, and double gas on the natural. Okay, so what this looks like is it's going to be just Oracle. We will maybe... No, he's not even going to get the Phoenix, is he? Oh yeah, he's basically just saying, look, single Oracle is going to try to harass, and I'm going to go straight into Archon drop. Probably just an Archon charge timing, if I had to guess. There are other options, but just the way it's lining up with the fast gas, the lack of gateways, I think we'll see 3 more gateways come down soon, and that's probably going to be Puck's tech path. As I say it, yeah, 3 gateways go down, so yeah, call the build. I'm pretty good at this video game, guys. My job is to watch it all day, and after doing that for a long time, I'm sometimes able to predict what the player's going to do next. It's a hard job I have. I'm pretty unique. No one else could do it. Pretty stoked. Pretty chuffed. I'm pretty chuffed with myself, to be honest. This queen positioning is just sick, by the way. Stephano's blocked this. The Oracle's done piss all. It got 2 kills. I think they were both drones, but still, it's heavily bruised. Oh, that new Warp Prism skin looks so cool. I love it. Look at this little guy. He's so fucking adorable. Oh, man. I really like that skin, actually. That's very cool. Purify Warp Prism. Third base trying to go down, but only 1 Adept in position. If there's one weakness Stephano has, Puck has, it's just he has real trouble securing his third base. We saw this against True last time I was casting Puck's PVZ, so I hope he gets on top of this. Stephano, not as aggressive a player as True, but I mean, Puck's got to get in there, man. He's got to get some more adepts. The next warp-in will do that, but he's already wasted a bunch of warp-ins. And this delays the Archon pressure.
Gets his head slammed into the highway.
Oh,
Thankfully,
that hurts.
koalas are
That
already
hurts.
fucking brain damaged, so this isn't even a problem.
He's waiting for these gateways to cool down. Now, as they cool down, finally he can start whooping in these 4 High Templar. But these could have already been in there harassing 30 seconds ago, and that would have been a sweet spot. Because he wasn't able to hit, now Stephano has found room to drone. Look at this. He's starting to get that big worker lead. About 56, soon to be 60 workers. These Archons, I mean, there's only Zerglings and Queens on the defense, so there is still a chance to do damage here. And a ton more gateways going down at home. A little bit of probing going towards this third base, but not a massive amount. It is a pretty big commitment right here. Puck with some good hot pickup micro on those Archons. This creep tumor doing so well. I mean, this is what you need. You need massive creep spread if you want to rely on Queens to defend this sort of thing. Ooh, he's taking too much damage. You got to get out of there, Puck. Puck's already taken way too much damage, and like I said, he kind of missed his timing. The creep got further out. The creep managed to spread, and there's more Queens and Zerglings because he took so long with this. Now, we're going to need to see around a Zealots warp in here as well, and with 4 Archons and Hydra's only just popping, I think this might have been too greedy from Stephano. He really is pushing his lead right now. Stephano not scouting the third at all. He's not paying attention to what's going on. There's gateways that have gone down behind his Overlord, and here comes 4 Chargelots, 4 Archons. That is not something you want to fight with just Zerglings and Queens. He's desperately trying to morph Banelings, but they're not ready just yet. Those Archons, it might even be worthwhile focusing those Banelings down. He's going to start engaging here. These Zerglings taking big damage. He's warping in those units. He did actually do a nice pickup on those Archons at the front, drop them back down. Man, this is a sick timing. I think Puck's just going to potentially take the win, but actually the Hydras are now starting to spell out these positioning with these Queens behind the mineral line. They have actually survived a lot longer than I thought they would, but it's still very frightening right now. Drones being pulled off to fight Zealots. Never a situation you want to have, and these 4 Archons are still alive. The Warp Prism has not gone down, despite being on red hit points this whole time. The drones are on the run. More Zealots warping in. I think that's going to be all she wrote. The Spore Crawler trying to force that Warp Prism to move again. It's going to get focused down. And I think Stephano here just not scouting properly, playing a little bit too greedy, a little bit on autopilot. And Puck, man, ooh, nice timing attack. Even with that delay on the Archons because he was defending his third, manages to get the damage. He's got Storm and upgrades on the way behind this. I mean, he needed to do a lot of damage here, but he's done more than enough. And with that delayed economic transition, the third being fully saturated, gas is on the way, all of that stuff, Puck has secured a massive advantage. He's got sentries warping in at home. He's got immortals on the way. Gas is going down in this third, and should really be, I'm wondering what his next step would be. Ooh, another stasis trap. Grabs a few drones there. Even does a revelation, and Stephano's in desperation town right now. Yeah, he's gonna tap out. I'm like, realistically, there's nothing you can do. There is Stephano. He was just kind of processing that situation. Does eventually tap on out of that game. And we are going to launch into map number 2. Now, this is an interesting start, guys. We kind of dove straight into it without really spending a lot of time looking at exactly what was going to be going on. So, I want to actually share with you guys Stephano's words when I asked him, hey, do you want to play a show match? So, I messaged him. I was like, hey, do you want to play a show match, buddy? How's it going? I want to find the exact words. I'm opening up Twitter. He says, hey Jared, thanks for the free money. I gladly accept. Good luck, Puck. So Stephano, of course, always with the attitude, immediately said it was going to be free money. He was like, yeah, Puck, you're not on my level, bitch. Puck comes out there, smacks him, and is only 2 games away from securing the money. Of course, 50 bucks to the winner, 25 to the loser. And that's some good shit. All right, a race up. And good luck, have fun. Puck's like, start the game. ... And I'm like, yeah, you need to play Protoss, not Terran. And he's like, don't. He's like, I got excited. I got a little bit excited. Thank you so much, Jadoto. I really, really appreciate that, my friend. Thank you very much. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Oh, I'm a little bit tired. I accidentally had that covering it. My bad. Thank you very much for the heads up, dudes. I'll fix that up in just a second. Let me just hop out of there for a moment, and I'm just going to turn the follow sound off. We'll leave subs and everything on, but yeah, we're just going to turn the follow sound, the follow alert off just for the rest of the show match, just to make sure there's not as many pop-ups. Here we go, guys. Already up 1 game. Spawning down here in the bottom right-hand side of the map. The red Protoss player. It is Puck. Of course, representing Root Gaming. These guys are on their Korean accounts, but they're not all clanned up and everything. They don't have the logos, but it is nonetheless the teams they represent. His opponent up here in the top left-hand side started out the show match with some cocky words, and so far is down a map. He's going to need to adjust and adapt to see what happens next. In the top left, in the pink, representing Go, it is Stephano. Alright, this probe comes in once again. A large map where the probe can't actually deny any mining. Deny the hatchery from going down, especially because Stephano actually opted for a 16 hatch. And this is a development we've started to see in the Korean scene. A lot of these Zergs are going for that slightly faster hatchery, just to make sure it can't be stolen. But it also seems like some of them are skipping the Overlord, so going to be curious to see if they stick with this development and if this becomes the norm amongst pro Zergs or not. So is it going to be one more drone or an Overlord is the question. I think it's going to be one more drone. Going to find out in a sec. That lava pops out and it's a drone. Okay, yeah. So this is really cool. So the way this works is because your hatchery finishes slightly faster, it gives you a quick boost in supply, which allows you to start your first queen without delay and your second queen at the exact same time, without having to have built that Overlord as early. So now the Overlord will start... Actually, no, he's not even building the Overlord even now. He might go for a fast third hatch. Normally you'd build a 20 Overlord of this, but Stephano actually only starting it in line with the queens. I guess that makes sense. Probably not going to hit a supply block with this. But interesting to see this development in the meta, rather than the old 19 Overlord, which I still do, and Nurture and a few others do. I think in EU they might still be doing that, I'm not sure. But a slight change up in the opening here. Even 2 years into Legacy of the Void, pro players still finding slight ways to change up the efficiency within the meta. Stargate is going to go down for Puck, and this probe just wanting to confirm that there is a third base. He might even pylon block, but Stephano doesn't give him that opportunity. Drops that hatch immediately on about 30 supply, and once again, immediate creep tumor. So he's loving the mobility, having the queens cover the natural and the third by roaming between those bases. Uses spotting overlords spaced around to spot the oracles incoming, so he can always be in position, and a spore crawler covers the main base. I like this this kind of adaptation to the oracle meta. And so far, I mean, it did really well in game one. Stephano was just too greedy and wasn't scouting the third base and the production of Puck enough. You know, didn't respect that early warp prism. He did spot it. I'm pretty sure it flew onto creep and then turned around and went back to warp in the Archons, but no Roach Warren. He went straight into Hydras. His Banelings weren't morphed ahead of time. Stephano was just obscenely greedy in that last game, and he was punished for it. This time around, though, we might see a different build. Actually, no, it's going to be Robo. Very fast again. So far, the same opening. I feel like it's really bad to rely on this same build every game. I was doing this a lot. Zest was doing this every game. Zerg players have gotten really good at dealing with Oracle into fast Archon drop. Yeah, it worked in the last game. You can still do it once in a while, but you can't make it work consistently every single time. So, gonna have to change up the execution. You can still do the same opening, but you're gonna have to find a way to change up the level of aggression that you put on your opponent. So Phoenix is coming out now, and it is a no Twilight Council, straight into Forge this time. So it is going to be a different opening. I do like to see this from Puck starting to blast that Overlord. And that Oracle is thinking of coming in here, but the Overlord's seen it. At the same time, two Adepts going for a shade on the natural. I think they're going to hit alongside that Oracle. Oracle trying to do a stasis trap. No, it... Oh my god, this is terrible micro from Puck there. He's gonna actually lose it. Oh, the Oracle almost goes down. And I don't even know if he's killed a single drone here. Oh, he got 2 drones in total this whole early game. That Oracle almost dying. Oh man, he misclicked that Oracle. I think he must have clicked the stasis ward somewhere where a unit was. Maybe a queen or a drone or the Adept Shade blocked the stasis trap. So the order got cancelled. And then he accidentally threw it down while his Oracle kind of just drifted just into the Spore Crawler zone. So an unfortunate series of events, something which Puck shouldn't have let happen there. And that gives Stephano a nice edge in this early game. Sorry guys, accidentally had that upgrades tab up. And these Zerglings now are looking for an angle. Once again, I mean, Puck's going for that third with next to no units. But yeah, this time around he pulls the Oracle home. And, oh, didn't shade the Adept back first. I mean, that's okay, I guess, yeah. So a little trick there, if you ever have to wall off like that, shade the Adept back, then put down the block, and that way sometimes the Adept will shade behind and you get the full wall off if you do it quick enough. Obviously, if you're not very fast with your hands, no point. This Oracle still has its laser beam turned on. That Oracle getting drained there. Uncharacteristic mistake there from our Protoss player. Back at home, charging +1 still on the way. So it looks like it's still going to be a charge lot attack, just no Archons this time around. And 48 drones into Hydras on the side of Stephano. Looks like Stephano wants to go here for a very fast Hydra timing. These Adepts going to come in. Oh, a little bit of miss micro. Only going to get 2 drones for 2 Adepts. Not a good trade there for Puck. But he does see the Hydras. That's the important thing. Meanwhile, that Oracle being out of energy really does hurt here. Zealots warping in on the 3rd base. And that in itself is a bit of a tell here. Stephano might be able to read into that. He should realize that there's the potential for a ton of Zealots to come across this map right now. This Warp Prism is a little bit too close right now. As these creep tumors finish, he will get vision over there. And if he can surprise Stephano with a ton of charge lots, that'll do well. But too much pressure from just Stephano's small number of Zerglings. And Puck here says, you know what, I have to warp in charge lots on the defense. And now I've just got to probe up and try to play a longer game. But Stephano's so safe. He's got a pack of Hydras out. He's confident. He's droning really hard. He's getting gases up in his 3rd. No doubt he'll be looking for a 4th in the near future. Yeah, I mean, Puck's got to get something else done here. He's going to push across this map. And these Zealots and the Adept, no doubt going to try and hit that 3rd base. Pull the army out of position. And he's hoping for this Warp Prism to get some damage done in the main. But Hydra's already in position. This is such a common move on this map. This is such a weak point. Zerg players are so aware of that being the area where the opponent wants to drop. And Banelings, Hydras, and Zerglings, everything that Stephano needs for this. Luckily, Zealots are a very fast unit. We'll be able to get out of there without really losing anything. And does have Storm on the way. 4 High Templar building energy. Second Robo here on the way at the 3rd. It's going to be into Immortal Storm Archon. +1 armor coming down before +2 weapons. Of course, much cheaper on the gas and incredibly good for Zealot versus Zergling and Zealot versus Hydra interactions. The reason why a lot of people skip armor is the Zealots are usually just dying to Banelings in direct engagements. And it's only over a long game that it really ends up being worth it for Immortals as well. So a lot of players skip those armor upgrades, but I've always been a fan of them. I've always said, look, they're cheaper than going for a higher level attack upgrade. And if you're going to be doing a lot of Zealot counterattacks, there's a good chance you will get value out of it over time. So not a bad choice there by Puck. He's going to be going into Archons. That's got to be an Archon for sure, yeah. I'd love to see a few stasis traps around this 3rd. It's really just going to be the story of can he defend that 3rd base from the Hydra Bane. Meanwhile, Stephano going for the 4th base. He's up on 66 drones. Stephano obviously going to mount some sort of assault. The question is, does he start droning this 4th now, get a really big economy? Looks like a few are coming out. Or does he just try to kill off 3 base saturation and use the 4th only later on in the game? For now, Zealots coming in, sniping an active creep tumor. Very nicely done. That Observer also going to hide. Puck here doing very well with just the few units he has on the map. These Hydras of Stephano hungry and excited. They want to try and shut that down. We've got a lot of storms building up. Keep an eye on this energy with these High Templar. They're only 20 energy off having 2 storms apiece. Brings it up from 4 storms to 8 storms. Makes a big difference. We're also getting up to that point where there's 3 Immortals in here. Soon to be 5 Immortals. And there's an Archon. With a few more Archons, this becomes a proper army. Right now, it's still a little bit fragile, and it's incredibly reliant on Force Field and Storm landing correctly. But as he adds in more Immortals and Archons, it becomes a really beefy force. Puck, of course, is now stretching out towards that 4th base. He wants to secure a bit more gas income, especially as that infestation is starting. Stephano wanting to edge towards Hive Tech. Zealot counterattack comes in here, not really going to find a lot of damage. A good cleanup by Stephano. Only going to lose a few Zerglings for that. And meanwhile, Puck probing on the right-hand side. He says, look, I want to create pressure on 2 fronts, but the Hydras here of Stephano, so on top of it. They are going to find that Warp Prism. Puck reacts just barely in time, gets it out of there. Good multitasking from both sides. Take a look at that APM tab. Stephano at 500 APM. Holy crap, is he hacking or something? That's even higher than a laser. What the hell? Man, he's spamming his face off. Stephano kicking ass in this game. Meanwhile, of course, Puck here at almost half of that, 280, still more than enough that you need to do 90% of the things in a game of StarCraft. Baneling's coming in. Oh, where's the force fields? One Baneling gets a sick connection on the High Templar, but that's not enough to finish them off. The Immortals and Archons do stand strong. And not too bad. He does keep his units alive. A few force fields at the start of that engagement would have made that incredibly efficient for Puck. But look at this. I mean, we've got Stephano saying, I'm going to go for a big counter. Puck says, I'm going to counterattack you as well. As long as he can defend this naturally, we'll be okay. He's got one Psystorm banked up here at the natural. That's going to be key if he can clear these Zerglings. Yep. Does a lot of damage there. His army rotates backwards. These Zealots coming in. Unfortunately for Puck, his army got pulled back by this counter. And as a result, Stephano can just send his whole force to deal with this. And the reason this is important, guys, is very clear. Time is running out of the hourglass here for Puck. Hive is only about 20 seconds away. It's lined up with the Spire. As soon as this Hive and Spire finish, that's going to be turning into a Greater Spire. We're going to see Corruptors on the way. And about 2 minutes from now, there will be Broodlords on the field. So right now, it's 11 minutes in the game. At 13 minutes, Puck's army is going to be made somewhat redundant. He's going to need either Blink Stalkers added in, or what most players would prefer would be, of course, Tempests. But that's never really been Puck's style. Puck's always been more of a let's go for Stalkers guy. I think off this position, though, it might even be Carriers that he heads for. Realistically, though, no transition in sight for him just yet. And with that Warp Prism going down, I mean, he's kind of just sitting here in his turtle. He's got his head pulled inside his shell. He's like, oh, cool, I've got 8 Immortals. And this is nice. You've got this beefy force. But you've got to push right now. The Greatest Spire's on the way. And there is a ton of Hydra Bane. 41 Hydras, 14 Banelings, a 73 worker count for Stephano. So Stephano not that incredibly high on workers, but his upgrades are great. We've got +2 range on the way, +3 melee. Spine Crawlers starting to go down across the bases. Stephano continuing to attack on 2 sides at once. And this Warp Prism exposed does spot these units coming. And it should be able to make it to safety. He's going to spot this hatchery going down here as well. At the same time, we've got a big engagement. Banelings coming in and a lot of High Templar. Already 2 High Templar on full energy falling. Only 3 left. Some beautiful storms on Stephano's army. But oh, those couple of Hydras focused down another High Templar. This one almost went down. And that really takes the damage out of Puck's army. Now Puck has to fall back, wait for more energy before he can really fight again. And that's terrible. That's really bad for Puck. Yeah, he's got a Fleet Beacon on the way. Carriers or Tempests will be starting soon. But we've already got Corruptors on the field. It's only a matter of time until these turn into Broodlords. And I think Stephano is just looking very good composition-wise right now. Puck has a little bit more money, but no 5th base for him just yet. And oh my lord. That is a... What the hell? That's 19 Zealots. We've got 19 Zealots moving down the left-hand side of the map. You can't deal with that with Zerglings. Those other counterattacks were much smaller. This one is huge, and this really splits the attention. Stephano still hasn't made Broodlords. Oh my god, he's just made them now. But these Zealots, I think they actually spot that. And I don't think, yeah, Puck's not going to wait. Puck has to go. He's like, I've got to fight before those Broodlords finish. He's going to try and push in and take out this hatch as well. The Immortals should be able to focus that hatchery down, even if he loses his entire army. But he wants to try to get out of here as well, if possible. We've got this huge flank coming around for Stephano. Another Zealot counterattack hits on the left-hand side, is occupying a lot of these Hydras. This base has fallen. Stephano's keeping his drones alive, but he's lost a hatchery. He's back down to just 3 bases. And if we can see this army get extracted for Puck, then he will be in a good spot. I wouldn't mind seeing a recall at this point, but I think he wants to take this creep out on the retreat, clearing up a lot of Stephano's map control. He's trying to go for a 5th in the middle. He's going to send another Zealot counter. He wants to try to keep Stephano's Broodlords at home, because back on his side of the map, we've got the first Tempest on the way. We've got a Mothership on the way. Blink, +1 flyer weapons, +3 attack on the Forge is about to finish. It's going to bring the upgrades up to 3-1. And no armor upgrades for Stephano whatsoever. Of course, he's going to make things like those Hydralisks much, much weaker as this game goes on. Those Broodlings as well will get blasted away. Not that armor upgrades matter too much for them. It will make a difference. +3 melee is almost finished. We've got Neural Parasite and 5 Infestors on the way. So I think Stephano, realizing he might have to play against some of these capital ships, wants to try and control them, add them into his own army instead. And we've still got these 8 Immortals alive. Let's check some kill counts. 10 kills on 1 Immortal, 16 on another. We've got 11, 15, 16, 6, and the Archon also has 11 kills. Alright, these are definitely Protoss units that we're looking at. He's just kept that core of his army alive very well. And these Corruptor, this Corruptor actually looking for the Warp Prism, doesn't find it. This Warp Prism sneaks through a gap, and at the same time, we do have a few Zealots and an Observer clearing up the map control. If we go to Stephano's vision right now, we're on his camera. He's just kind of getting his vision pushed back into this corner. He's trying to roam around that bottom left, but this Warp Prism comes in. He's going to pull the drones. Very quick response from the Tunisian/French Zerg player. This Warp Prism just trying to get out of there, and he's doing everything he can to hunt that down. Looks like Stephano's accepting that he's going to have to play a longer game, but I do feel like Creep Spread is definitely the thing he's missing. This Warp Prism is at the end of its road. It does finally get blasted down. That's going to be pretty sexy. We've got the 4th base up here. 5th base is now finally up for Puck. This is a point where a lot of Protosses get starved trying to get this 5th as it's so spread out. But he's got cannons up here now. A few shield batteries would actually add to the power of that a lot, as I think this pack of Hydras and Zerglings could still overwhelm that quite easily. But, you know, there hasn't really been many drops or anything like that here for Puck in this game. He's up to 5 Tempests. He's about to hit 6 Tempests. I don't think you want any more than that, guys. Tempests are a huge supply sink. Each one costs 6 supply. And in terms of raw damage output, they're terrible. The reason the Tempest is a great unit is they have incredibly long range. They have, of course, 15 range anti-air, 10 range against ground, but they attack very slowly, they move very slowly, and, I mean, for a capital ship, I guess they're kind of fragile. So yeah, basically, Tempests are there for sieging your opponent down. It's for forcing them to engage into things like your Psystorm. With 8 High Templar with Psystorm, he's got a ton of it. What I worry about here is the fact that there's no real Void Rays or anything in this composition just yet. I'd love to see more cannons, more shield batteries, and actually getting rid of some of these superfluous units. Like, okay, what have we got over here? We've actually got, yeah, 4 Immortals are going in, but, ooh, Hydra is well positioned. He's going to recall those home. Of course, if you drop 4 Immortals, that's such a sick late game move, because you can snipe the Hive and that Great Aspire down so quickly with that anti-armored bonus to damage. So I think the Warp Prisms are going to try and find their way down the right-hand side of the map now. For now, just rejoining the army. But yeah, superfluous units, guys. Let's take a look around. Okay, yeah, it's nice to have High Templar defending counters, but it's not helping your main army. Adept, not helping the main army. We've got a Phoenix. That's not useful. 2 Warp Prisms. I mean, they're kind of useful, but they don't actually add damage. There's a few Zealots still here in the army. The Observers don't contribute damage. The Sentry can be really nice if you remember to use Guardian Shield, but even the best players in the world often forget to because there's more important spells to be used at this stage of the game. And oh, Neural Parasite! Stephano gets the revelation. He can see the entire army of Puck now. He Neural Parasites the Oracle, revelates the Protoss' own army, and for the next 30 seconds, it's actually both players having map hacks on each other. Stephano going to try and hit this bottom base. Like I said, a few shield batteries down there would have helped out, but as it is, I think Puck might need to pull home. A Fungal does land up here on these units, and I think Stephano actually wants to take the fight. Ooh, High Templar! High Templar running into Broodlords. 2 High Templar are going to fall here. That's a bit of a costly exchange there. A 3rd High Templar goes down. Oh man, those Broodlings with +3 melee just ravaging. We've got Carapace upgrades now starting up. Good to see Stephano just rounding out his late game. We'll have to replace this Gas Geyser. Both players getting pretty big banks at this point. And we've got +2 Plasma Shields, +2 ship weapons about to finish. No doubt we'll see +3 there in the near future as well. And we've got even a few more gateways going down. Of course, Puck wants to be able to just remax on like 40 Stalkers if he wants to. Sometimes you win a fight. The Protoss will just build a ton of Corruptors to try and make Broodlords to remax. And if you just run in with like 30 Stalkers, you just win the game sometimes. So sometimes it's Stalkers, sometimes it's Zealots, sometimes it's just High Templar and Archons, and yet again the Neural Parasite doesn't get the Revelate off that time. Tried to actually pull it back to safety, but because he didn't get the Revelation, this army is still hiding underneath the cloak of that Mothership. So this Mothership here, the really annoying piece of the puzzle, which is going to allow, you can see here from Stephano's vision, only units that drift out of his control, out of that Mothership's area, are going to be visible. And those Tempests just able to siege from afar. Looking at the hotkey setup, you can see that down here on the bottom, the Tempests having their own control group. They are trying to focus fire. They're coming very far forward. You got to be careful there, Puck. There's no Abduct in this composition, but there is still a good number of units. Oh, very nice Chain Fungal. Broodlord's actually coming forward. I think they fired on their own infested Terran Egg there. And Neural Parasite lands on this Archon. The Archon doing good friendly fire damage there. Tempests, though, do manage to take that down. And I think Puck definitely getting the better edge here. Units lost tab in the top left-hand side of the screen. We do see Puck. He's been 3,300 resources less efficient. Let's see how that changes. So 15,000 to 18,500. Let's see how that changes as this goes. It's all about patience and efficiency at this stage of the game. This Oracle going to do another tag there. That Corruptor immediately cancels its morph, tries to pull further back. And once again, the Immortal Storm, High Templar, Tempest Force coming forward. I think Puck may be overstepping. That's a ton of infested Terrans here. He's got to watch out here for the Neural Parasite. A nice Fungal comes forward. This Warp Prism exposed at the front will fall, and Immortal goes down as well. Puck starting to bleed out quite a few units here. A lot of infested Terrans coming forward. The Broodlord's landing some great hits. Puck's going to have to withdraw from this fight. He's lost too many units here. He doesn't have a lot of High Templar right now. He's got a few spread around his bases. Unfortunately, no High Templar at this base, but he's got so many gateways, he's just going to warp in like 14 Zealots. But great retreat from Stephano. He says, yeah, I'm just going to pull back, get the other units over here, and then just kill those Zealots for free. He doesn't want to fight them, just Hydras versus Zealots. He wants to bait them into the rest of his army. And there we go. He splits up the Zealots, and he says, let's take a really efficient trade here. Stephano, the master of engagements. Of course, oh, does get tagged. Good play by Puck. Puck going to try and clear up the creep in this middle area of the map. He was denying this base for a long time, but we see Stephano took advantage of that, and he's actually establishing his position up in the right-hand side and the center of the map. And it's Puck's job to try and get rid of these Spore Crawlers, control this area, and siege this base from the high ground. If he can do that, then he does well. But right now, Puck's stuck with a lot of useless supply in these Zealots. These Zealots need to go counterattack, maybe on this left flank. But his army, once again, rotating this left flank. I think Puck's a little bit too focused on this angle. I think if he gives up the middle of the map for too long, Stephano's going to mine out these top bases. And, I mean, look, he's even sieging into range of the cannons on this side. I think it's got to be a recall here. Recall is cooled down. A ton of Zealots coming forward, actually, but yeah, against Infesta Hydra Spine, that's not going to do too well. Left-hand side, Puck says, all right, let's push in. Let's snipe a base. Drones being cooled very quickly by Stephano. Stephano looking for the efficiency. He wants the neural. He might go for a neural, but oh, one feedback does land. Stephano quickly pulls back. You got to land some more storms here. The fungal lands. One High Templar goes down as well as the Observer. Ooh, another feedback lands, but that did not kill the Infestor involved. At the same time, Broodlords are on the right-hand side of the map. I mean, this could have been a recall, I think, from Puck. I really feel like he could have recalled since there was no real anti-air support there for those Broods, but doing as well as he can. And these Stalkers, oh, he tried to warp in Stalkers to deal with the Broodlords, but now there's Hydras there. Oh, I mean, Puck loves his mobility, he loves his micro, but I feel like Stephano's being just a little bit too patient for him. Infestors land a nice fungal. He's going to start throwing infested Terrans everywhere. He tries to land some Neuroparasite. Two of these Tempests, though, as well as an Immortal, get left out in the open, and that's going to be some nice pickups there for Stephano. These Stalkers, oh, they actually tried to dive on the Broodlords. A lot of them did go down. Look at the units lost tab, guys. Stephano getting further and further ahead. He was up about 3,000 resources. Now he's up 7,000. So Stephano getting the better of these trades. Not only that, but sniping one of the mining bases of Puck. The pressure is now on Puck. His worker count is not as high as it once was. He's going into carrier tech, which is quite nice. But infested Terrans are well suited to deal with that. So Stephano already having this big bank of 15 infestors gathering energy. He's going to be able to deal with that okay. I haven't seen too many games, to be honest, with the new cast range. The new cast range is actually really short in comparison to what it used to be. So that could factor in here. We'll see how we go. And yeah. This game looks like it will chill down for a second. Let's have a drink of water, because this game is friggin' insane. Is this Bronze League? Yeah, this is absolutely Bronze League, guys. Never heard of this Stephano guy, but he's pretty bad at this video game. So one Oracle does go down. So that's just efficiency. A few Zealots go down here. Nice efficiency. I mean, Puck here, I feel like he really should have been trying to dislodge this area. I think if you're going to go for this Tempest style, you need to be looking to pick away at their army front on. So the more you can control the center of the map, the more power that gives you. Now, that's my thought, but if we think about it, what Puck's doing is actually really smart, because this base is out of gas. It's pretty much out of minerals. He doesn't really need any of this, right? He needs these bases to stay alive in this game. So realistically, this is probably the better prioritization, and all these Hydras coming in, walking into that mothership. The mothership's actually going to recall right now. Recalls. Oh, so it does recall units to it, the new mothership, doesn't it? Oh, yeah. I forgot about it. Okay. I've never used that spell. That's crazy. So you can leave it at home, your mothership, and then recall your army to it. It's going to be quite powerful. This War Prism has come down the left-hand side, but Stephano's moved to respond. He should be able to find that, and indeed he will be able to. At the same time, a Zealot counter goes in, gets ravaged by the Broodlords. I think another Oracle just died there? Not 100% sure. And I mean, both players don't have a lot of economy in terms of mining right now, so this could still go either way, but the bank for Stephano looking much better. This Zealot Warp-In finally finds some purchase. Is going to be able to take down a lot of drones and leave those Zerglings dry until the Hydralisks arrive. So most of the Zerglings will go down here. The Hydras will clean that up in the end, but here we go. Uh-oh! Stephano here jumps on top of this army. Puck caught unawares is going to lose a Tempest or two. Actually, I think, why has that Tempest changed color? I don't know. Oh, it's the recall bug. Okay, some of your units just stay a color. There's a graphical bug. This High Templar out the front, lands some storms. Oh, the bloody broodlings, man. There we go. Okay, so we are going to see this base go down. And Stephano, he's just winning on all fronts right now. He's showing he's very good at this stage of the game. Remember, this is one of the guys who actually pioneered the Swarm host disgusting stuff in Heart of the Swarm. Even though he wasn't really competing, he was just playing a bit for fun. He loves this crazy late game. And you can see he's just a bit better practiced in it than Puck is. He's taking control of the mothership, drags it into his army, snipes it down. The Broodlord's coming forward. The Corruptors now focus firing a lot of those air units. The Splash is gone. The High Templar are all dead. Now the Corruptors can close in on this army. And these carriers all being focused down very quickly. So I think I should probably turn off health bars. Probably should have done that earlier in this game. Now that I realize just how many bloody health bars there are on the screen. Maybe turn it on to just damaged. So you guys can actually see the units rather than just 40,000 health bars. Carrier there is going to go down as well. We've got a ton of Zealots warping in, but take out the Infestor. Nice fungal from the Infestor. Lands a chain as well, a second one. And, oh man, good Hydra micro. Stephano only going to lose a few Hydras there. We'll clean that up. Takes out this base in the bottom left as well. Desperation, Blinkstalker, Warpins. Puck's like, ah, fuck. Let's go back to my favorite unit in the game. 3-3-2 Blinkstalkers. Going to take down a few of these Corruptors. Going to try and fight against these Hydras. But fungal growth, pretty brutal. And Puck knows he's done. Stephano equalizes, ties it up 1-1. Oh my god. That was insane. Oh, Jesus. Check out that APM, dudes. 522 APM for Stephano. What? I do feel like Puck was ahead at some points in the early-ish stages.